What is one of the biggest things that are holding people back from taking action? What is it? It is fear. It is the fear of failure, the fear of judgment, and the fear of stepping out of your comfort zone. All of these things are holding people back on a daily basis, right? So you need to understand that nothing will change if you're not able to conquer your fear. A lot of people don't take this serious enough. They think they can just sit in their comfort zone all day doing nothing. But the truth is, you're losing that calling that God placed on your life. I want you to ask yourself, how would your life look like if you raised your standards? You stopped settling. You stopped accepting average. You stopped accepting anything less than the life that God placed on your heart. What if you demanded more from yourself? More consistency, more self-discipline, and also more consistency when it comes to your prayer life. What would that do in your life? Your life could change in just 1 year if you stopped settling and you started to make different decisions, right? The only reason why most people are choosing the easy way, and you probably know that yourself, is because it feels more comfortable. Playing video games, doing things that are keeping you stuck, doing things that are making you procrastinate. All of these things, they feel good in the moment, but they leave you empty. They leave you without any purpose. Settling is easy, but greatness, that actually requires work. It requires sacrifice. It requires saying that you're not going to accept the bare minimum, but you're willing to work and sacrifice for a life that God already designed for you. So let's talk about what you need to do in order for you to actually make these steps and change your life in the next couple of months. There are 4 steps to it, and I'm going to break down each of them. Number 1, I want you to do a self-audit, right? Be super honest and super serious about where you're currently accepting less in life, right? Whether it be relationships, finances, where are you settling in life? Be ruthless about it, call it out, right? Take some time to write it down just to get a better idea of what it is that you're still accepting. What is it that you're still accepting, but you know you shouldn't, right? So once you identified and figured out what it is where you're still settling in life, then I want you to remove it, right? I want you to replace it with something different, right? Create new habits, create higher standards, right? And get super clear about where you actually want to be in life. But do not do this lukewarm, right? You really take up the time and then get super serious about what it is that you want in life. And the second thing is, stop trying to be realistic for a moment. A lot of people say when you have big dreams, right, you're chasing your dreams, that what you're doing is not realistic. Well, let me tell you something. That is just their limiting beliefs. That is just their sense of what realistic is. So when they say something is not realistic, but you know that everything is possible, then why are you letting their opinion be stronger than going after what you truly want in life? So the second thing that you have to do is you have to decide what you really want in life, right? And do not compromise, right? It's better to set the bar higher than lower. So at this point, you won't even negotiate with your mind anymore because you clearly decided what you want in life and you're willing to do what it takes to go after it. The third thing is raising your standards. So first of all, we have to understand why a lot of people are struggling with raising their standards. And I've thought about it for a very long time. And the truth is why a lot of people are struggling is because they don't allow themselves to think bigger, right? They're just used to being comfortable. Their whole life they have been told that what you do is okay, yeah, you don't have to do more. So they always felt like they had to go against the grain. But the truth is you have to go against the grain, right? God chose you to be different. You are not here to fit in. You are not here to be like everyone else. When God placed a bigger calling up on your heart, you just have to understand, what are you doing with that calling? Are you letting fear or the judgment of losing people or losing friends that aren't even your true friends? So when we truly want to raise our standards, we have to first understand that we need to get out of that survival mode, right? We can't be in survival mode, right? Just doing the bare minimum and just trying to survive, but actually not being grounded in your purpose. The reason why you see people having high standards is because they're living in their true purpose. They decided that there's more to life, right? Than just food, than just sleep, and then just getting home from work and then waiting for the next day. At the end of the day, if you're living in your true purpose, then you know that there's a bigger calling. You know that there's a bigger purpose behind it. Why waking up every morning, and taking that risk, even though it feels uncertain, is worth it. Once you stop settling, this is where you actually start living. This is where you actually feel like life feels like life, and it's not just draining all the time, But the way to get there is a lot of suffering, is a lot of sacrifices, But you have to understand that, do you want to sacrifice now, or do you want to sacrifice your whole life? A lot of people are okay with sacrificing their whole life and they're just trying to fit in because they don't want to stand out, right? They're not willing to be judged or be disliked. But that's going to happen if you truly go and chase your dreams. My mindset has always been that life is full of opportunities, right? So every morning that you wake up, it is a blessing that God woke you up that day. And every opportunity that is presented to you, you should take advantage of, right? You should not play it small. You should not think that you don't deserve all of these things, when the truth is, you have to understand that God wants you to live your dream life. God wants you to tap into your true calling, right? But if you don't allow yourself to think bigger, if you're always letting the enemy and all these other voices win, then you're wasting your life away just trying to be comfortable, right? Just trying to do what everybody else is doing because you were not ready to stand out. And at the end of the day, it still starts with yourself, right? God already gave you the assignment. God already gave you everything that you need to make it happen. But if you're not willing to push yourself, if you're not willing to change your self-identity, from doubting yourself to actually thinking that you can make it happen, right? When you have God, there's nothing that you should be afraid of because God is with you all the time. While you're chasing your dreams, God is looking over your back all the time. God just wants to test if you truly want it, if you're willing to do whatever it takes. So all of these align with each other, pushing yourself, raising your standards, and then allowing yourself to think bigger. Because once you do this, then you won't negotiate with your mind anymore. And you get up in the morning actually having a game plan, actually having an action plan to attack the day, right? Because at the end of the day, you have to understand that it is a war. It is a spiritual war. If you're not choosing to live by faith, if you're not choosing to actually prioritize your relationship with Christ, then you're just being lukewarm. Then you're just letting the enemy win all of the time, because you have to understand that this isn't just something that you should be half in, half out about. This is something where you should make a decision. And deep down, you still have that feeling that that you're meant for more. You know that there's a life that you want to live deep down. But you just have been convinced so much that it is okay to slow down. It's okay to be comfortable. I want you to change your self-image. I want you to change the way you think about this. Because you ask God for all of these blessings, but then you're not willing to change within. You're not willing to be more disciplined, right? You're not willing to wake up earlier, to get into the Word. You're not willing to do all of these small things, but these are required in order for you to see these changes. True discipline is the number one thing that you need to master if you want to see the changes in your life. And lastly, don't try to change everything in one day, right? This is how most people burn out and then end up not doing anything at all. So I want you to just focus on taking one step at a time, right? If you take one step daily, how far are you actually going to be ahead in a couple of years, right? If you just open up the Bible every morning, you be intentional in the Word. You're not just reading it to tick it off, but you're actually in the Word, making notes, being really present with it. And the same with the gym, right? You're being consistent with your workouts. You're being consistent with your diets. How would that change your life? Where would you be in a couple of months from now on if you just locked in your faith and your fitness, right? So just take one step at a time, but make sure that you're consistent. Make sure that you show up each and every single day. Because the thing is, chasing the life that you were meant to live is going to be worth it every single time, right? And no matter how long it takes, no matter if someone is achieving it faster than you, all of these things, they do not matter. The only thing that matters for you is that you focus on your own race, that you focus on your own process, because God placed something on your heart that only you can see. So you should not compare that to another man's vision. Another man may have a completely different vision, but your vision, that is a blessing from God. That is a gift. What are you doing with it?